How different does this Grand Slam semifinal feel to you compared to the first?
To be honest, I don't really remember what I felt like after the first one. But it was, I'd say the first one was quite overwhelming. But this one feels good.
Do you feel more ready to handle this moment?
Yeah, I think I have a better perspective and just looking at the game totally different and just happy with where I'm at and just looking to build on it.
Congratulations. Anastasia was just in here, and she said that he was asked about the atmosphere, obviously pro-you, American, but also just, the electricity from the crowd. She said it's like the loudest environment she ever played in. Talk about that atmosphere and, how that affected the way that you played and just the overall impression of the match.
Yeah, it was incredible. I couldn't hear like anything. It was so loud in there. But I think that's what tennis players play for. Obviously, as an American playing at your home slam, to have a crowd like that behind you is incredible. I don't think there's any better feeling or better moment you'll get out of playing tennis. And it was pretty awesome. My first match on Ash, so for me, I didn't really know what to expect, and I wasn't used to the noise and all of that stuff. So it was a little bit of an adjustment, but other than that, it was. That's what tennis players live for.
By way of great play, you'll surely have another match on Ash. Just talk about making the semifinals.
Yeah, it's incredible, amazing. Like I said before, if someone would have told me when I started at Wimbledon that I'd be in the semifinals or making 3 semifinals back to back, I would have said they're crazy. So. Just happy to be playing really well and happy that my foot is good and I don't have any pain and my body's holding up. So so many positives just to take out of it for myself personally.
Just talk about whoever the next match might be, either Venus or Kvitova. Played Kvitova a couple times already. Lately.
Obviously, being semifinals of Slam is a complete neutralizer. It's anyone's game, and I think I just have to focus on myself and. Yeah, that's all I can really do.
What do you remember about your last semi at the ranker?
Let's not talk about it.
What does Venus Williams mean to you as a person and as an example?
I think Venus is just our leader. I think as a whole, she's just what everyone looks up to. She is a great player. She's a great person. She is a great leader. Being on Fed Cup teams with her, there's not anything bad you can say about Venus. So. I'm just honored to be able to play at the same time as her, and I'm happy that she's still playing because she means a lot to the game.
And what would you say is your favorite personal story about your relationship with Venus?
That's why personal stories are personal, because you don't tell other people.
In what ways are you a better player today than you were before dealing with the foot injury and all of that time away?
I think just my head is a little clearer, if that makes any sense. Before, obviously, I was playing well. I'd won a couple tournaments and playing well, obviously, but being injured definitely gave me a whole new perspective on tennis and life and just in general. And I think that now, as I've said before, I play tennis for a living and I enjoy it and I have a great time, and I don't think there's anything else I'd rather be doing.
I think coming out of Washington, you had just the 2 matches, right? Wimbledon, and now 13 wins over, and all of them were over top 50 opponents. Did you sense anything? Do you remember what you felt coming out? Did you feel any encouragement over something that happened in those matches?
No, I think in Washington I had press conference. Ben was there, and I said eventually I'm going to beat somebody, and then I'm going to beat 2 people in a row, and then did I think it was going to be the next week? No, but I kept a good, positive, whatever, the whole thing that I was eventually going to beat somebody and things would be well again and all that stuff. So I just stayed positive, and then, look, there, semifinal. I couldn't really ask for a better way to come back, and that's pretty much it.
Hey, Sloane, you've been talking about how you kind of came to this realization, screw it, my life is really pretty good, all things considered. Could you just talk a little bit more on how you came to that, what that moment was, what your thinking was, please?
I don't think it was like one moment. It was just obviously not playing tennis for basically 11 months. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do all the things that I wanted to do, but I did get to hang out with my family and see my little cousin soccer games and go to weddings and baby showers and stuff. So all the things that I thought before I was missing out on, I really wasn't. Like, you know, playing tennis is an amazing thing, and I'm lucky that I'm able to play a sport for a living, and I really love playing tennis. And I think it was just kind of like eye-opening when I wasn't playing. Like, of course, I loved my time off, but when I got back to playing tennis, it was like, this is where I want to be. This is what I love doing. And over time, it just kind of was like, okay, like, this is fun. This is great, actually.
And any update on, you've spoken about your grandmother in the past. I presume she's still with us. How's she doing?
Yeah, it was a tough time for my family last year. Obviously, a long story, but another reason why I was happy that I wasn't able to play, because I got to spend more time with my family. Last year in Madrid, my grandma had a stroke, so I spent a lot of time at home with my grandparents. If anyone knows me, my grandparents are like my life. They're my best friends. So, yeah, I was just really happy that I was able to spend that time with them, because life is short and you have to just keep the people you love really close.
Sloane, at 1-3 in the third set, there were a number of deuces in that game. Did you feel, and you were just a couple of points away from being 2 breaks down in the third set, did you think to yourself, if I can just pull this service game out, that I could be able to win the match? And did you think that game at 1-3 was somewhat of a turning point?
Oh, yeah, I knew that I had to keep it close, and that if obviously I got down 2 ranks, it was going to be really difficult. But I knew that if I kept it close, I would get my opportunities, and I just had to keep fighting and battling the whole way, and eventually I would get a chance or two, and I just have to take it. And that's what I did. I really didn't think too much into it. I just continued to fight and play every point.
Sloane, in a certain way, besides finding out that you love tennis and that's your life or whatever, was it somewhat freeing because you found out also that there's other options? I mean, obviously you were successful being a commentator and stuff. Does that kind of change your perspective? Like, oh, well, there are other things to do?
Yeah, there are plenty of other things to do. And the commentating was super fun, and I would totally do it again because I had a great time. But I mean, there's so many things. If anyone wants to know, I'm actually going to fail my last semester of college because I'm here and I haven't submitted any work in like 3 weeks. So that's another part of life that is really stressing me right now.
Where are you at school?
At IUE, it's the WTA thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. December 14th, I'm supposed to graduate, but I probably won't because I'm here and continue to be here, so.
Not to be negative, Sloane, but was there a particularly tough moment of your time away, or did you manage to stay positive?
I mean, I was walking on a peg leg, so that whole, 15 weeks of that was, super tough. I was on a peg leg and in a cast, so I had, a full, thing on. Did you see me in Charleston?
I saw the...
Yeah, I had a cast and a peg leg, and I think those were that was my toughest time, but I was at Tennis Channel and I was around some great people like Paul and Lindsay, and I just tried to stay positive. So when I got really down, I had another way to kind of lift myself up. I think being around them and just still enjoying my time, even though I was super limited.
Did you ever think that women would predominate in American tennis?
I didn't think we couldn't. We were going through a time where we didn't have that many people, but I think now there's 14 women in the top 100 or 13. Does someone know? Someone knows. How many?
I don't know.
How many women are in the top 100? U.S. women. Out of all of you people, no one knows? It's ridiculous. Well, I think that we're doing great and that American tennis is headed in the right direction, men and women. Sam Querrey's in the quarters. That's also great. I think we're headed in the right direction.
So you talked about the crowd, people being excited, but when you walk through and how big the
stadium is. Did that, I mean, obviously you'd seen games here, but what was that like just to kind of look up and see how big it is? It sees 25,000. Was that, I don't know, does it?
I think you could put me on any court and it would kind of be the same, but it was, like I said, it was very loud. But it was cool. That's like the cool thing about playing tennis. Like you get to play on different courts, different stadiums, and I mean, that's why you play tennis, right?
You know, there's a lot been said about 4 American women in the semis. Any significance to have 3 African American women get this far in the US Open?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great for American tennis. It's great for African American women. I hope that we keep it going. And there's not really much to say other than it's amazing.
Sloane, what are the biggest questions or doubts that you've answered about yourself with the way you're playing?
I don't know. I was just here to play, and when I started playing at Wimbledon, I didn't have any expectations. I just was coming out here to play and see what could happen, and I've played, and this is what happened.
What did you think would happen?
I had no expectations. I just, like I said, was coming out here to do what I do best, and that's play tennis, and just to see what would happen.
The grind was always really tough. Obviously, you're just coming back, but it has been a lot of success, but it still has been a grind over the last 2 weeks. A lot of tournaments, a lot of matches, a lot of press conferences. How are you approaching all of this perhaps differently? Is there any strategies you're using to kind of keep everything calm and relaxed in between matches?
No, just the normal stuff. I just say no to everything unless it's absolutely mandatory. And yeah, that's just, that's my main thing. So if anyone ever asks anything, I always, oh my God. Oh! Ah! What is that thing? Oh my God, it looked like a dragon. That was a lot. I'm so sorry. Oh! Oh my God.
You gotta tell it no.
That is so disgusting.
Yeah, tell it no.
Wait.
Swat it. There you go.
Okay, that was so disgusting. Wow. My bad. No, I don't think so. Okay, sorry. What was the question? I don't even know. Okay, it's done.
That was a good illustration.
Yeah.
So do you have a thing with mosquitoes and the like?
Yeah, I don't like bugs. It's so disgusting. I don't know where that came from.
My question relates to your earliest days, Sloane. Could you just talk a little bit about when you first emerged in Fresno? It was said that you started hitting balls at a camp. I don't know whether that's true. What camp was that? And then did you ever play at the clubs there, like Fig Garden and let's see, Copper River? And who were your first coaches?
So I grew up across the street from Sierra Sport and Racquet Club. My first coach was Francisco Gonzalez, and I started playing, in summer camp. And that's how I started playing. I thought it was fun. My stepdad used to take me, and that's how I started playing. Okay. I think my mom secretly always wanted me to be a tennis player, though. So that's why I started playing.
Thank you, everyone.